Community anger after an Okotoks man charged in a massive child sex abuse case is released from custody.
That news is released about him, and all of a sudden he's back at home and kind of going on about his day.
And warning from police to not attempt vigilante justice. Plus, the Prime Minister has announced a new AI strategy.
Every time you engage with AI systems, you're gaining something, but you're also losing something.
How it could impact Calgarians. And a life-changing technology.
Wow, isn't this just such a miracle?
Low vision advocates want the province to let drivers use telescope glasses.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jacqueline Wilson.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A major bust by Alberta's Internet Child Exploitation Unit that saw an Okotoks man charged with crimes against children has outraged the town. The alleged crimes are disturbing enough, but neighbours can't believe that Corey Earhart is out on bail. Now RCMP say that they've received reports of threats and they hear people may be thinking about vigilante justice. Tyson Fedor reports.
Last week, the RCMP and the Internet Child Exploitation Unit arrived at this home in the Sheep River neighborhood of Okotoks, charging 35-year-old Corey Earhart with 1 count each of possessing and accessing child sexual abuse material.
To have something like this occur in your backyard, literally in your neighborhood, is quite alarming.
Alberta's law enforcement response team seized more than 500,000 photos and videos.
It's disturbing. I mean, like, you never really know your neighbor well enough, but for having something like that to that extent and to the degree of what it was, I think it kind of shook not only the neighborhood, but basically all of Alberta.
Neighbor Nick DeMallo says he was shocked by the charges, which were announced by police Wednesday, leaving many in the community angry.
He was back home, cleaning out his garage. Another neighbor said he went for a walk with his dog, and it's kind of disturbing that, you know, that news is released about him, and all of a sudden he's back at home and kind of going on about his day. I think that's kind of upset a lot of people around here.
But RCMP say they are receiving reports of people thinking about taking the law into their own hands because of the nature of the alleged crimes. Mounties say any form of vigilantism is unlawful. CTV News attempted to make contact with Earhart at his home, but there was no answer. His home has been egged numerous times since the public found out about the charges.
That in itself gets the public angered. When there's a perception that justice is not being served to the victims of these types of offenses and that there's a leniency on the side of the court.
Earhart was released with strict conditions. Court documents showing Earhart promised to pay $3,000, must remain in Alberta, reside at his Okotoks home, and he must not go within 50 meters of any area where children under 16 may be present. Earhart is also banned from the internet or having any devices with a camera.
My understanding from the RCMP in our discussions is that this individual has been removed from the community.
Earhart is due in Okotoks Court August 7th. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Okotoks.
Calgary police say that no one else has been charged yet after a man was shot yesterday afternoon in a Beltline park. A man in his 30s was rushed to hospital after the shooting at Connaught Park on 14th Ave Southwest. He is in hospital in critical condition with life-altering injuries. Investigators call it a brazen act of violence in a public place. They questioned several people, but all were released. And since then, another person was taken into custody, but no charges have been announced. Emergency crews responded to Sunnyside LRT station about 5:30 tonight for reports of an injured person. EMS say that the adult patient was likely assaulted elsewhere but was located and then taken to hospital in serious but stable condition. Anyone with information can contact police or submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. RCMP have busted a trafficking operation that shuttled drugs from Calgary to Canmore. Cochrane Mounties seized a semi-automatic rifle, fentanyl, cocaine, counterfeit Xanax, and synthetic opioid tablets. Investigators say that a suspect was picking up wholesale-level drugs in Calgary and then selling them in the Bow Valley. The estimated street value of the drugs is about $500,000. 2 Canmore residents and 2 Calgarians are charged.
We're watching the overdoses happen. The harm reduction side has increased a lot, but on the harm reduction side of the Narcan and units that are helping that, taking seizures like this off the street, especially in small towns, is crucial.
1 property in Canmore and 2 homes in Calgary were searched as part of this bust. Well, Banff RCMP are investigating after someone stole 2 bronze plaques that were part of a memorial. The plaques were ripped off a statue in Iraq. They commemorated Ukrainians and other Europeans detained in the mountain town during the First World War. The damage was discovered recently by officials from the Ukrainian Canadian Civil Liberties Association. Well, the College of Physicians and Surgeons has sanctioned a Calgary doctor again. The tribunal found Dr. Bruce Hoffman double billed by charging insurance companies for procedures while also privately charging patients. The college also determined he breached a patient's confidentiality and levied an unreasonable $1,000 charge for a missed appointment. Hoffman received a reprimand and a $7,000 fine for unprofessional conduct. He is the same physician who was ordered by the college to pay more than $20,000 to the estate of a former patient after double billing on 21 separate occasions. Hoffman has retired from medicine. He has appealed the latest sanctions. Well, Calgary police say that they've responded to 3 separate collisions last night, and they all involved impaired drivers. The first was this pileup on Deerfoot Trail about 7 o'clock. One vehicle ended up on its roof. Police say 3 people were hurt, including the driver who was arrested at the scene. Drivers suspected of being impaired were also arrested in 2 other collisions. Well, Fit Kids Care says that the employee at the center of a recent complaint is no longer working with the organization. The province says that the Northwest facility has not been providing adequate supervision, was using physical restraint and punishment, and has failed to report incidents. As a result, it issued a probationary license. The company says it's fully cooperating and has enhanced staff training and additional supervision protocols. It also says it's appealing certain claims and findings. If Fit Kids Care is unable to meet provincial standards by September 2nd, the province says its license will not be reinstated. Well, a terrifying scene west of Edmonton today. A van crashed through the wall of a daycare. No children were hurt, but firefighters rescued an employee. Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports.
We've never really ever had a trouble being out here or anything like that, so definitely a shock to the system, to say the least.
Darren Bruniak was working next door to Young Champions Daycare when a van crashed into the building.
Didn't know if my daughter was safe or whatever, so, you know, a little bit of panic. You figure out real quick she's okay. She's at the 7-Eleven. I could see her when I come out the front of the store that she was, you know, over there.
His daughter and son were one of the 18 in the daycare at the time. Police say they all got out safe. Emergency crews had to rescue an employee in her 20s who was trapped in the building. One witness saw the rescue.
There's a kitchen back there, and there was a lady in there preparing food. She's been injured. Something fell on her head, and she got burns on her arm.
She was in that room, and a large amount of debris was laying on her from the collision, and the gas line had ruptured. The natural gas line had ruptured and was feeding into that room.
She was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The smell of gas filled the air after the crash, and nearby buildings were evacuated.
It was me and one other gentleman. We were over by the van there when it first happened, but like I said, with the gas, it was just so strong. I got him to back away.
ATCO has since repaired the leak. Police say the driver was a man in his 30s and was taken to hospital. They say they're investigating all possible causes of the crash.
We haven't ruled out drugs or alcohol. We haven't ruled out any medical episodes, speed, any driving pattern. I don't have any information on that.
Bruniak says he's thankful for how fast the daycare workers got the kids out to safety.
Honestly, I was amazed because, like, they had them across the road. The other staff, like, reacted really well. The kids were all happy. They were getting them treats in the 7-Eleven.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta's Privacy Commissioner is once again raising concerns about upcoming changes to Alberta's driver's licenses. The Privacy Commissioner says that morphing 3 IDs into one will bring new risks to personal information. Diane McLeod says that putting personal health numbers on driver's license increases fraud risks. She also points out that the Registrar of Motor Vehicles is not subject to privacy laws. McLeod says she has been speaking to the province about her concerns, but so far the government hasn't introduced any extra safeguards. The Privacy Commissioner says that it is developing its own guidance for Albertans, plus one for organizations with access to healthcare numbers and proof of citizenship. Well, the rain is back. It was nice for that one day when we didn't have any, but it's kind of cool where we are at CTV because we can see this city and kind of all the storm clouds roll in.
Yeah, it was definitely an impressive look out there from our windows today. So today was active. Tomorrow we have the potential for that activity, and Saturday as well. Let me show you the forecast, because it basically is, I don't know, what do you say, Groundhog Day, wash, rinse and repeat, all that kind of stuff. So this is the exact same forecast as what we had for today. Fog patches developing overnight, carrying through early tomorrow morning, a high of 19 expected. Mix of sun and cloud through much of the day, and then after 4 p.m. we get into the risk of showers and thunderstorms. Your full forecast just ahead.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. Well, the feds have announced a new artificial intelligence strategy, how it could impact Albertans after the break.
You're watching CTV News Calgary.
The federal government has announced their new artificial intelligence strategy looking to move Canada forward. But will it help Albertans? Moses Waldo reports.
A new announcement from the federal government will see billions move into the artificial intelligence space, and that has Alberta tech companies like Calgary's BrainToy thrilled.
We partner with educational institutions and industries. We want to empower people. So this will be good because it will provide funding and some capital to do this.
Key takeaways from the government's plan is to boost AI's use in business from 12% today to 60% by the year 2034, along with building a world-leading supercomputer in order to increase Canada's sovereign infrastructure in 5 years and to give all Canadians access to free AI literacy training.
Under our strategy, the government will introduce new legislation, regulations, and standards to protect your data, your privacy, your children.
While there is excitement, there are experts taking a second look.
Every time you engage with AI systems, you're gaining something, but you're also losing something.
And Canadians largely agree. An Angus Reid poll showed 2/3 of Canadians want the government to regulate AI, but nearly 3/4 of Canadians aren't confident in the government to keep up with the technology.
Let's have a conversation about accountability when AI systems cause harms, and also individual rights and liberties. If I don't want my data to be used for training, especially in governmental context.
There are no timelines for safeguards at the moment, but Asiedu says he's already noticing some positives from what he's read.
At least now, as a vendor, if I have that certificate, people will be interested in working with me. They will trust me more.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Calgary.
Gas prices have shot back up in Calgary again after a brief dip earlier this week. Prices are up about 17 cents a litre today at around $1.72 per litre. And analysts say that prices are being pushed up by continued uncertainty in the Middle East, as well as tightening oil supply. And Air Canada is trying to ease concern about jet fuel supply ahead of that busy summer travel season. The airline has sent an email to customers saying there is no fuel shortage affecting its operations, including across Europe. Air Canada says that it does not anticipate any significant impact throughout the summer. Meanwhile, German airline group Lufthansa says that most European airlines are confident there will be no jet fuel shortage. Well, tourists visiting and spending time in Calgary are on the rise, and that's after a record-breaking year in 2025. Tourism Calgary says that what stands out is recreation and entertainment spending in the city. That's up nearly 45% year over year. The organization says that means that tourists are increasingly choosing Calgary as a destination, and they're spending more money here. Spending by international visitors increased 15% in the first quarter of the year. The Stampede remains the #1 attraction, but events surrounding the Stampede off the grounds are a major draw too.
We know that the music scene in Calgary continues to be a huge draw. There are 13 different music venues planned throughout Stampede this year. We're quickly becoming one of the biggest music events in the country and known beyond our warm Western hospitality for action and adventure, for culinary, for art, the arts and creative scene.
Tourism supports more than 80,000 jobs in Calgary. Well, advocates for people with low vision are calling on the province to help cover costs for a special type of glasses and to allow people to use them for driving. Alicia Fieldberg met one Calgarian who says adopting these policies could be life-changing.
Wow, isn't this just such a miracle?
That's how Judy Anderson felt when she first tried special glasses that help her continue many of her favorite things. But she isn't allowed to use them to drive, so had to give up the job she loved.
I had the privilege of going out and speaking to groups about the benefits of healthy, nutritious food. I had to give my notice, and it honestly was one of the saddest days of my life.
Bioptic telescope glasses are prescription lenses with mini telescopes on top. They offer a hands-free way to see distant objects up to 5 times larger when needed, while maintaining peripheral vision. Some countries and Canadian provinces allow them for driving, but telescopic visual aids cannot be used to maintain an Alberta driver's license.
Unfortunately, in Alberta, we're not at that point yet, but we are trying to bring awareness, because this is a game changer in patients who are suffering, who can't do the activities they want to do, but now can do it.
A Calgary optometrist asked the province to adopt a model similar to Ontario and Quebec, which allows drivers to use the special glasses and also provides some provincial funding for eligible patients to buy them. Right now, Alberta patients have to cover the roughly $2,000 to $5,000 cost.
To enable the patients to improve their quality of life and to get that spark back, where when they've lost it, we see them go downhill.
He developed a free app to help people with low vision continue many activities to avoid isolation and mental health impacts.
And watch for the bike rack's metal bars, which could pose a tripping hazard.
Judy is thankful for the aids and hopes Alberta will adopt changes that might give her back even more independence.
I think if it wasn't to leave our family, I would probably say, let's move to Ontario, because I want the freedom to be able to drive and just be out and with my friends and have the most normal life I can possibly be, and the best life, I think.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, there is more rain in the forecast. Danielle Savoni is along next with all the details. Stay with us. All right, well, we certainly had an active day today, and that's in the forecast for the next few days. I'm going to give you your whole long-term forecast in just a second, but first, checking out the highs for today. Drumheller, Brooks, Medicine Hat, Lethbridge over to Milk River got into the 20s today, and Calgary almost got there with a high of 19. Quite a difference in Banff at 16 degrees for a high today. We maxed out at 43 kilometers per hour for gusts in the city, and that's what we're looking at late day tomorrow as well. So another day where the winds will pick up in the afternoon up to about 40 kilometers per hour. 65 was the max in Pincher Creek and close to 70 in Lethbridge. Those gusts will be back in those areas tomorrow once again as well, up to 70 kilometers per hour. Here is that look at that active day. There was the risk of funnel cloud development today because rotation was possible, smaller size hail, and even the risk of larger size hail in some of these cells outside of the city. Calgary, we saw our own thunderstorm activity with pea-size hail, some lightning, some decent downpours that created some pooling temporarily on some roadways. So it was an interesting day, and that risk arrives once again tomorrow after 4 p.m. So the morning's quieter, the winds will pick up a little bit in the afternoon, and there will be this band of, well, rainfall, pockets of showers, and even some thunderstorm activity, mainly up the QE2, and this will actually likely peak into Calgary later in the day, closer to 4 and through the supper hours. So sporadic, isolated showers and a non-severe thunderstorm is possible late day tomorrow. Okay, let's carry into the weekend, shall we? And Saturday starts off quite nice, a mix of sun and cloud. And after 4 p.m., once again, we get into the chance of showers or thunderstorm activity in Calgary. Definitely up the QE2, and we could see it in Calgary as well. Then fast forward to Sunday, and Sunday looks like a rainy, cool day. Now, we're not looking at the rainfall that we had with this last system where we had 100 millimeters or over 100 millimeters of rain, but we are looking at a decent rainfall by Sunday. We could pick up 10 millimeters in the city. So just a quick look, 19 degrees for tomorrow, small risk of thunderstorms or at least showers after 4 p.m. Similar idea for Saturday, temperatures around that 18, 19 degree mark once again, and then cooler for Sunday. We drop down to 14, and it will be a cooler, rainy, and windy day. Okay, thanks, Danielle. Well, new life is being planted in some Calgary neighborhoods. The City Trees for Life and the Arbor Day Foundation are teaming up to plant 1,400 new trees this year. Half are going in Winston Heights Park. The other half will be planted in West Nose Creek Park. It's part of the city's goal to expand the urban canopy to 16%. Right now, it's below 10%. Well, if you went down to the Children's Cottage Society today, you'd be in for a big surprise. Today is the day that the teddy bears had a picnic. The cottage invited families to bring their favorite stuffed animals to celebrate a name change for its crisis nursery. It's now known as Nan's Place. The name may be different, but the program remains the same. Care for children can be provided for up to 3 days when families are going through a hard time. There's also a day respite care available.
We have families to bring their children to us when there's a medical emergency in the family, when they're exhausted and overwhelmed, they need a rest, when they're going through some housing problems. There's so many reasons why families come to us, and sometimes it's hard to find that kind of help.
The Children's Cottage Society wants families in a need to know that you don't have to go through it alone. Well, a 1,000-pound butter sculpture is on display in Calgary. The meaning behind the work at Contemporary Calgary after the break. Welcome back. To mark Seniors Week, Alzheimer's Calgary is highlighting its music program for people living with dementia. The music program will play recorded songs or has a live performer hosting the session. Members of the group may still sit at the start, but as music keeps playing, they begin to move with the rhythm. Alzheimer's Calgary says that certain songs can evoke memories from the past and it brings members joy. It has a number of music programs and one is intergenerational.
So through our program, we do music in memory with students, and they'll talk about their favorite songs on both sides and share why those are their favorite songs. So we want people in our community to connect with the senior and their younger people to connect with the senior in their life.
Well, we've posted more information about the music program on our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. Contemporary Calgary is launching 3 new solo exhibits today, and one includes a 1,000-pound butter sculpture. Artist Ghazali Avarzamani made the cowboy on horseback on site. It's at the center of a giant Monopoly-inspired piece. The exhibits examine systems of power.
You get from it is the feeling that you usually get when you are following when you watch your bank account, or when you're following the system, or even when, like, let's say Trump posts the tweet and then your heart starts beating. So it's the text is somehow relating to churning butter, but also you can translate it to churning the market.
Well, to celebrate, the launch admission was free tonight from 5 to 9. Well, that is all from us. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.